Good morning YouTube and welcome back to Watches and Wonders. Once again, it's myself Tom behind the camera, and in front of us today we have the Pagani design PD1719 or the Doxa 300T homage. Now if you'd like to see what I do away from watches, please follow my social medias at watches_wonders on Instagram and Watches and Wonders on TikTok. There you'll see a few early watch reviews, a few shorts, stuff I like to get up to in my own life, like my bushcrafting, which is what I do for a living, and just a little bit more about myself, pretty much. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. I do read all my comments. I will be responding to all my comments, so if you do have any questions, please don't be afraid to leave the question down below. I am happy to answer. If I don't know the answer, I'm quite happy to tell you I also don't know the answer, and we will find it out together. That's how I like to do my things. So today in front of us we have the Pagani design PD1719 Doxa 300T homage, and from first impressions this watch is fantastic. Genuinely is fantastic. There's not much that you can get of this quality for the price I paid, which is around, with delivery, £55. That was with some coupons on, that was with a few added extras from AliExpress, but that would be the benchmark price that you would be looking for, between £55 and £65. So let's get on to the watch. The watch is using currently for its movement a Seiko NH38 movement, which is a no day or date movement. So as you can see, this dial is very clean. There isn't any cyclops, there's no day, there's no date. Simply just getting the movement in this. So the NH38 beats at around 21,600 beats per hour and has a 41-hour power reserve. So first impressions of this watch is it looks massive. When I first pulled it out the box, I was a little bit unsure because I was like, damn, that's a big looking watch. And it is that shell. The shell around the watch makes this watch look much, much bigger than what it actually is. So whilst looking at this watch, you can see the outer shell. Makes it a relatively large looking watch. But for the people with small wrists like myself, please don't worry about that, because the dimensions of this watch blew my mind when I actually started wearing it. I couldn't believe just how small it could actually be made. So we have a dial dimension of 44mm, an outer shell dimension of 42.7mm, and a lug to lug of only 45mm, which, well, that's incredible. That is smaller than most of the watches I would usually wear, even though it has such a big presence on it. Now, I understand that the orange as well, I'm a big fan of relatively bright colours. Big fan of the orange personally. I think it just makes this watch pop. Now, I do know that they do this in a black and red and a Tiffany blue styled colour. The Tiffany blue is stunning. I do know that there's a lot of people that are a big fan of the Tiffany blue version. And personal preference for me, I've got a Tiffany blue watch. I didn't have an orange one, so I decided to go for the orange. It just popped. It really stood out for me, did that. So taking a closer look at the watch, as soon as you get it off, you'll notice it is quite thick. So this is a 14mm thick watch, which is helped, or shall I say unhelped, by that slightly domed sapphire that it has on the top of that watch. But that sapphire is protecting a very well laid out face. It's what you need. It tells you the time, and that is all you really need. So the entire watch is made from top to bottom of 316L stainless steel, which seems to be the industry standard now for most watches. Obviously there are some out there that are in brass, and then obviously we get up to our precious metals and Rolex's higher quality stainless steel, which they have patented and made themselves, which obviously I've not experienced personally, but I've been told is absolutely phenomenal. But you don't expect anything else from such a well-known and renowned watch company. So as I stated earlier, this is a clear AR-coated sapphire crystal covering the watch face here. And as you can see by the hour and minute hands, they have like an orange presence to them. Now, when loomed, they do have a weird colour. That is the best way to describe it. Apologies for my nails. That is the best way to describe it. It is a C3 loom, so it is relatively strong and it does last quite a while. But it's weird. That is the best way to describe it. It is a weird loom. So let's have a look at the case anyway of this watch. So I don't know if any of the eager-eyed viewers will have noticed, but it does say divers 300 meters. So a 300 meter dive watch for what I paid under 60 quid is pretty much unheard of. It's not something that really happens. Do I believe this watch should go to 300 meters? No, I don't believe 300 meters it'll do, but do I believe it could do a decent dive? 100%. The movement is encased in this massive shell, which also does help add to the waterproof. We do have a washer in there. Not sure if the camera will pick that up, but that will also help when it comes to obviously diving. As long as you're sealed down and everything is how it's supposed to be, it should help massively. Now, I'm not stating this watch will go to 300 meters. I wouldn't ever dare put it to 300 meters, but I think it will do for, especially for say your daily or going to the swimming pool with the family or something like that. This watch should put up with that very, very easily. The crown, we have a stamped crown. Absolutely stunning, really easy to use. It's extremely smooth in and out. Beautiful screw down crown. To be honest, the finishing, besides my fingerprints all over it, the finishing to this watch is phenomenal. Like, there's not many mistakes I've been able to find on it. There is a few moans and niggles which I will get up to at the end, but all in all, this watch it's fantastic. It's a brilliant watch, and it wears much better than I expected it to wear. That's the best way to say. It's wears smaller than, when on wrist, it has the presence of a big watch, but wears smaller than most of your Seiko 5s nowadays. It just feels so compact on the wrist. It really does. It's unbelievable. So let's have a look. We have a screw down case back with a little turtle there, tortoise turtle. It's one of them, and I'm guessing that's in sort of like to go in with the case and the shell of this watch, which does have a very similar shape to what I'd expect the back of a turtle shell to be like. But I'm a big fan, Pagani. I'm a big fan of that little added extra you've put there, that little detail. You don't get it on a lot of Paganis at all, so it's quite nice to see, to be honest. Moving on to the bracelet, we have a solid, every single link is solid, and all of these links here are actually separate little links. Now, I know a company called Seastern do a homage to this watch, and their bracelet is not up to par with this one. It's really not. You get all separate links going down the bracelet. As we spin around to the back, you do only get 3 micro adjust holes, but unfortunately Pagani have to go somewhere slightly cheaper. But we do get a beautifully milled clasp. Like, Pagani are getting really, really good at these clasps, they really are. It's definitely something that I'm glad to see they're doing more of on their watches. And I am very happy to see that it works for them and they're able to carry on doing this for the price that they are charging people. It's phenomenal. From doing this and collecting watches now for over 10 years, it's phenomenal what you can get out of AliExpress, out of the Chinese market for the price that it is. It genuinely is. That's not to say this watch is perfect. It's not. So, I'm not sure if anyone will have noticed, but that link on the end of that bracelet, as you can see there, is wobbling, which does give me a little bit of doubt in my head. Something could go wrong. Hopefully it won't, but we do have the same problem on both sides with this bracelet. So it's just a fitting issue. The actual bracelet itself, though, is solid. It's really well made. The watch is really well made. Timekeeping on this, I have noticed it is running around 15 seconds fast per day. That's without a time graph. That is just me keeping monitor on it. So that's why I'm saying around. I won't put an actual figure on it, but it's around 15 seconds a day. But all in all, for the price you pay for this watch, it's phenomenal. It is genuinely, genuinely phenomenal. It's something that I wish some of the big companies would start picking up on, just how much you can get for the price nowadays. But I don't think any of the big companies want to pick up on it, because whilst they can make money, I'm pretty sure they're quite happy making that money. Now, if you give me just a second, I'll be back with you to show you the lume on this watch. Now, unfortunately, I'm actually recording in quite a light room at the moment, so that lume's not showing up just as well as it should do, but I will be posting pictures up on my YouTube, of all of my watches under lume, and I will have each and every one of them labelled. So please do jump onto my YouTube channel and give it a quick look. But anyway, thanks once again, guys, for tuning in. This has been Tom with Watches and Wonders, and I will hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.